Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast show. My name's Tony B. Alongside me, as usual, my partners, David B. and Timmy D. Welcome to the Ship's Gonna Happen show. We're just three Americans discussing transportation topics. Our views, the views of us three, are purely news-driven and do not express the views of any transportation provider or any business that uses any transportation provider. It's just three guys with 7 years of experience covering topics that impact the industry, that brings us the products that makes us happy Americans. David B., what's going on, man?
What's happening, Tony and Tim? Good to see the both of you on this beautiful Saturday morning. Weather outside is perfect. Good to see the both of you. And today's show is sponsored by The Great Divide, 743 East New York Street, downtown Indianapolis. Great place to go on Saturday, catch some live jazz music, or on a Friday and hit up some awesome piano playing and chat it up with the locals, some great food, some great booze. It's a great spot to go. Booze. And
are you going to go see some jazz?
I'm afraid today. Yes,
today
I am. So it's after one of these Ship's Gonna Happen weeks. We talk about these weeks off, and I definitely need to get out and kind of enjoy some light jazz on a Saturday.
Your dancing leg or your drinking leg? Drinking leg, then the dancing leg.
Yep. So Timmy D, it's good to have you back in your absence that you've had. So how you feeling?
Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, that man flew up my ass, boys.
Did you have H1N1, SARS, West Nile? What was
I tested negative for the strep and Mono. COVID. I did come back with negative COVID, like I told them. They won't give no man a drug, so I just had to suck it up and be a little wuss, I guess. 4 outfit changes a night and sweat it out like a fat boy that I am. And believe it or not, I lost 10 pounds.
You're used to this.
I found them.
You lost them, I found them.
Yeah. I've already gained 6 in about 5 days. So, good to be back on a Saturday morning. One thing I got to say, you guys, maybe it's Tony that did it, but got us all on all the channels out there, YouTube, Rumble, Twitter. SoundCloud's always been our base, but trying to branch out. I think we're going to start doing some videos. So shipsgonnahappen.com's out there. And thanks to Tony's hard work and David B behind the scenes, getting some of that social media stuff up so we can you guys can have any platform you want out there to use us. So that's pretty cool to see. And happy Saturday morning to you guys.
Happy Saturday morning. Topic number 1, David B's got it, and it's going to be discussing driver fatigue and distraction. David B, let's get into it, brother.
Let's get to happening on this. So this is kind of a topic we'll touch on every now and again on this show. And it's really, I read a study over, actually this morning, this story came across from Transport Topics, saying that driver distraction and the hours that they put in, how big of an issue it is with accidents and insurance and everything. And the goal of the study was to investigate the impact of distraction and drowsiness on commercial truck drivers. And, it goes into, there's some of the obvious things on this that they talk about, but it goes to talk about, the hours of a fatality, when the most common hours are, when the least common hours are, and what it plays into it. And a lot of the drivers are going hands off as they're supposed to by the law, where they're like, if a truck driver's in his cab singing and talking, hands free, that's not an issue. But if he's going to reach for that coffee cup or make an adjustment the mirror, make an adjustment to the mirror or the rear view mirror or whatever it is, there's always, those are the main things. Not singing, not talking, not talking on the phone, because it's hands off. The talking and the singing are hands off. They're hands free. But if anything that has to do with hands, and if it's 2 seconds or more looking away, then that's when all the issues.
But how do they get their answers, right?
Right.
When we're debating on what is it, we just go straight to our phone and look for Google.
Yeah.
How do they do that?
That's a great question.
Do they say, Alexa, please tell me the answer to this?
That's what they need. Alexa in the cab.
And the numbers are better. The numbers are 60% better than they were a year ago.
Wow.
60%, a year ago, it was a mess as far as, accidents and issues with driving. Now things are getting better. That drivers are becoming more adapt to technology and stuff that makes things a lot easier for the drivers, and it's easier for them to kind of do more than things in one at a time. But if they have to make a 2 second move this way or 2 second move that way, then that's the issue.
I
or
used to
whatever.
always tell my drivers, and this is before technology started. I'm not that old, folks, but I used to always go in and tell my drivers, listen, before you take off, part of your pre-trip is make sure your cab is locked down. Everything's where you want it, right? Don't be scrambling and trying to find that radio station or where your
That's a
coffee
good
cup
point,
may
yeah.
be. And the other thing that could distract them in the cab is things that roll around. So think about a lot of your cabs only got the one seat.
Yeah.
Right. Especially a lot of your local tractors will only have the one seat right there. So they've got a lot of loose items they put in the passenger side seat, whether it be your line haul drivers have got their big suitcases
Right.
and their big wheels and bungee cord this, bungee cord that, right? You almost got to have that stuff strapped in just like you have everything inside that trailer strapped in the right way and loaded the right way. Your cab needs to be the exact same way or your distraction is that quick. I mean, how many times have you come up and just driving your car and your Mountain Dew can goes to spill? First thing you do is go to grab that.
Yep.
Your eyes come off that road so quick. And when you're moving 80,000 pounds across at 70 mile an hour, you're stopping, your lead time is not there.
Right.
And then factor in the other drivers, the idiot grabbing his Mountain Dew, right? Because that's
Right.
priority one. That's 69 cent, or now probably $1.99 can of Mountain Dew that they got to have or got to find or locate. That driver's distracted too, so his reaction time is already there. Now he can make up for it. Typically, the guy in the car can make up for the reaction time. That truck driver that's got that space cushion, it closes quick. It closes so quick. So make sure your cab is locked down. And I think that maybe a lot of that has gone to the hand-free technology to where you're not reaching up and looking for directions and messing with your phone. So you've already got it plugged in. And then think about Google now. It updates or Waze. I'm a big Waze fan.
Yeah, me too.
Huge Waze fan. I think a lot of truck drivers use Waze. It was one of the original ones. You can mark the police, you can mark accidents, but it consistently updates your route to, hey, we're going to find you a faster route. It sees those traffic jams. And so by not going in there and looking to see if there's traffic jams, it naturally updating that will help keep your hands free and your mind not being distracted.
And you're also telling your drivers, make sure you listen to the Ship's Gonna Happen show.
Ship's going to happen. The number one podcast
Don't let
show.
that distract you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen to the Ship's Gonna Happen show. So I mean, it's a good article to read where technology is advancing to help drivers maintain the safety, which is far more important than.
Have they come out with tractors kind of like, and not Tesla in particular, but a lot of safety features with the automatic stop? You see the commercials with the automatic. I'm not fortunate enough to be rich enough to own a vehicle like that, but where it sees a ball come across or a kid run across and it automatically applies the brakes. So I'm sure that technology's got to be coming in
bet it
trucks.
is.
Yeah,
but
it's
I'm
there.
not
Volvo's
sure.
working on that, and BMW. I was going to do my topic on that actually this week. They're going to start using them at the ports, and I'll show you a picture later. But they're flat little trucks that are remote controlled, and they're like 48, 53 foot long, and it's got the auto stop safety feature in it. And these gentlemen are controlling, man or woman are controlling it, and they're doing a test run. I can't remember what port. It might have been Long Beach. They were doing a test on it.
Snoop Doggy Dogg, shout out.
Yeah.
That's right. Long Beach.
Long Beach, California.
So going back to the study or whatever,
Cali.
I mean, they kind of overstated some obvious numbers that
Don't let that gin and juice spill.
most accidents happen
Gin and juice.
during the daylight hours, and least amount of
They
accidents.
do during the day. Is that? I'm telling you, it's because of the idiots else. It's not the truck drivers.
You're completely right.
Well,
with
say that again.
You're
What was
completely
it, during the day?
Yeah, the most accidents, the most critical accidents happen during daylight hours.
Wow.
And Tim nailed it. Tim's exactly right. It's because of everybody else on the road.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily because of the driver. And then the least amount of accidents happen between 1 and 6 in the morning, which,
That makes sense.
but yeah.
It's
So it was an
all you got is
interesting-
truck drivers out there, and you got travelers, right?
Right.
You got people falling asleep, but that's about it.
It's an interesting article to read and talk about, or to read about, especially considering that driver safety in 1 year has come a long way, especially with the hands off, given, like Tim mentioned earlier, saying, Alexa, play the Ship's Gonna Happen show, and then Google Map or Waze getting you to down to Plainfield.
Do they have
or
cabs
over
like
to
that
whatever.
yet? Like
I don't know.
You can yell out and hit
Yeah.
the talk.
I'm not
They
sure.
should.
I'm sure it's
I'm not
coming,
sure.
right?
You know what's coming is Driver Appreciation Week is next week, so we need to interview a driver.
Yeah, we need to get one next week.
I drive everywhere. You want to interview me?
I need a truck driver.
I drive a truck.
Oh
Dude,
Lord.
a nice truck.
Yeah,
It
it's
is a nice
very
truck.
nice truck. Yes. Yeah, but I mean,
I
got David B. speeches over here. I'm like, I drive a truck.
An 18-wheeler is what I'm talking
I've
about.
got a guy.
Wheels on
That's
it.
right. We can put 14 more
I got
on
18 inches of rim.
We'll get 14 more on there. That'll be an
Yeah, right.
18-wheeler.
I've got a guy
So-
I'll reach out to and see if he's willing to do it.
Yeah, next week would be
Don't
perfect.
alligator arms it, though. Fully reach out and get him, all right?
So anyway, that's my topic.
Yeah, that's
for this
interesting.
week.
So
Nice.
daytime is high up. Technology, we think, has helped decrease it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we think the hours after
hours-
everyone's starting to comply, everyone has moved to electronic, even with all the pushback over the last couple of years when they've moved to it?
Right.
Was that in that study at all?
It
That
is.
you
Yeah,
read?
the hours definitely were in there. Of course, the 1 to 3 hour time frame, and then not a lot of accidents happen. They're kind of, the drivers are all kind of full of piss and vinegar, and then 3 to 6, it kind of the down, their attentiveness kind of wanes, and more towards the 8 to 10 hour driving day is where the accidents really tend to happen more often, which
And I always found those sleeper cabs out there with the pole in the back. Those become distracted too.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
All of a sudden they've got a rear view mirror that's got the 360 on it, and it's just get distracted out there.
yes,
You know,
that's so weird.
it's so
How does
weird.
that happen? Jeez. But anyway,
I think it's a good topic.
It's a great topic.
I mean, but anyway, yeah, just looking at that. And to again, to me, when I'm reading this, or when I read this article, and we've talked about this, I don't know how many times on this show, salary your drivers, be safety, in my own opinion. And I don't know the ins
Slow
and
that
outs.
transit down for you.
But you're still, if you have to drive X amount of hours a day, you still have to drive X amount of hours a day. Like you and I have to work. All three of us have to work X amount of days, and we're salaried.
I saw you
And
going
I'm
a
not
whole
trying-
different direction. I thought you were going to say, couldn't get any slower than I've got it now. But
there
no, Saturday morning will take it easy on everybody.
I'm not trying to throw everybody on the bus this morning. It's to me, salary a driver, be safe, and get to where you need to be getting in a safe manner. It just to me makes more sense than trying to have that driver push to get more. But I could be wrong with that assessment, and I'm fine with being wrong. So
No, sounds like it's
Go to the DavidBTrucking.com. Go visit it.
right, yeah,
Trucking by David B.
yeah, salary all your drivers and make them drive X amount of hours.
Well, it looks
a
like
day.
some companies had stepped up to do that, right? To kind of help the drivers out. Recently, even all the topics we've done. I mean, you've covered it, Timmy D. David's covered. I covered it. Where it looks like what Schneider was going to do at some of these companies.
That place in Texas that was going to
Yeah,
pay you $100,000.
right.
Holy smokes!
I mean, that's good money, right?
or minimum $12,000 a month or whatever in
Yeah.
Texas. Yeah,
You ready
good
for?
deal.
We're going to go into Timmy D next with. He's going to discuss the insurance risk for drivers. We're going to get into that.
So interesting. Earlier this week, late last week, come out. There was an accident down in Florida that killed a teenager 4 years ago from September 7th, 2021. So back in 2017, there was a lawsuit against the trucking company. And not only the trucking company. So what happened was there was an overturned semi on Interstate 95 down there. And a big backlog of teenagers got out of his vehicle, staring there, been there for a few hours, and that truck come up and plowed the whole everything and killed him, obviously, and injured a lot of other people. And the funny thing is, well, I shouldn't say funny because it's not funny, but we talk about how we're going to get younger drivers involved and how the experience is not too much, but our driver pool is really old, and we got to replenish that with the youngers. So thinking about that, we've kind of hit on insurance and kind of to your point of the risk out there and distracted driving. And so this jury, unbelievable amount. I'm going to say this one time and one time only. $1 billion.
billion with a B.
Whoa.
Billion with a B was awarded within 4 hours of the jury deliberating. 4 hours. And most of that money actually came from the overturned semi, not the semi that slammed into him that was distracted, I'm sure, that killed the teenager. Because of the overturned semi, $1 billion. Okay, I didn't mean to say that again, but the amount of money out there is ridiculous. So the insurance company had to pay out insurance in the company themselves, right? So we talk about transitions or people getting acquired. a lot of those companies can't get insurance anymore after an accident like that.
Yeah.
So you sell your assets and you move on, right?
Yeah.
If you can't get insurance, you can't do that. So the liability and the insurance out there, $1 billion, that's going to set moving forward. So that just happened on the 7th of September, 2021. That I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount of money. And how that was awarded, obviously there will be some appeals and whatnot, and what really gets paid out of that. And it's just, it goes into talking about, they call it a nuclear verdict against a trucking
It
company.
sounds like it.
Out of the water. Recently, 2008 initial verdict. So the last biggest one was 2018. Someone was awarded $101 million, but it was later thrown out in an appeal. So $101 million. Now this went to $1 billion. That's tenfolds.
Yeah.
Tenfolds.
So whether it's paid out or not, that's an eye opener.
It is.
That would make carriers and whoever.
How about
be-
insurance?
Yeah,
I'm not insuring anybody.
Right, exactly.
If you're trying to bring on an 18 or 19 year old, as we've talked in the past about bringing on younger drivers,
doing it.
you're going to think twice. You're going to be like,
And
is that
so
worth the
who picks
risk?
them up? The government?
Right.
I mean, who's going to be the insurer? So think about the hurricane that just come through. People in Louisiana, a lot of places in Florida, they Carolinas, they don't even get offered flood insurance. It's not even part of it, right? If you decide to go live in New Orleans and you live 6 feet below sea level, I'm not insuring you. Because insurance are there to make money too.
Right.
They're not even insurance after Hurricane Katrina and all that. So just like the people in the north up in New York, they don't have flood insurance. You and I don't have we don't have flood insurance.
Right.
We're not
No.
going to. We're not going to inquire about that. It'd be great. That's where they should be targeting flood insurance. Yeah, Tony
The people
B,
that need it,
Hey,
yeah.
pay me an extra $100. I'll get you for flood
Right.
insurance. Not a problem. It's free money. But insurance, unfortunately or fortunately, insurance money is there. Or their insurance are in business to make money. When you're handing out verdicts of $1 billion for one
It's
accident,
insane.
they don't. It's mind blowing.
It's why it's exactly why there's like since a national carrier's come on the scene, it's been 30 years since we've had a new carrier come out, right? I mean, the ones that are around have been around for almost 100 years. And there's a reason, I think, for that.
And some of them are self-insured.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Because they can't get the insurance.
They're self-insured up to a certain amount of money. But so we're just looking at that article and reading through that. The $1 billion is what caught my eye when I first pulled that up. And I'm like, I got to reread that. I got to go back and just double check. So I'm sure there'll be some appeals out there. But, distracted driving and what's it going to take to insure younger generation? Even the single male, they say at 25 is your breaker. I can tell you as a single male at 25, I never saw a breaker.
Yeah.
And I don't have the greatest driver record right there. I always went in streaks, 3 tickets within 3 months every 3 years is how I went. So I don't have the greatest record to rely on. I got them in bunches, and as an insurance company, I don't know if I would want to get into this market space.
Yeah.
Right.
But, yeah. And then you got that guy with the billboard, Hammer. Right,
Oh, the
Hammer and the
Hammer
trucking companies. Yeah,
cannot-
been in an accident,
Yep.
been scared by a trucker. Call the
they're
Hammer.
there. They're there.
I saw a news story the other day where every state has their own hammer.
Oh,
the
really?
Texas, Louisiana,
Really?
Indiana.
Is it the same guy or different?
Oh,
just
no,
different.
no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, not the same
The
guy.
heck?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I just wondered it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's a great question, and you're right. But it's the same type of commercial.
Gotcha.
Just the same dude or
Yeah,
different dude
different
or
dude.
whatever.
Well,
Jeez, like a
going back
network.
going back to Tim's point or whatever, like if you're trying to bring on a new driver, I mean, there's a driver shortage, everybody, and we don't have the right answers. But what do you need to do? Do you need to have that 18, 19, 20-year-old sit in the truck as an apprentice for X
right.
amount of years before they're cut loose
Right.
and to make sure they completely understand eyes on the road
Well,
all
that's
the
part of the
time.
driving
Yep.
school that's out there, and there's companies that do that regardless. It's the risk and reward that you've got to weigh your options. And typically, the person that's hiring said person to drive said truck is not the one sitting in the cab for the
Right.
first couple trips.
Yep.
And because you're so short, you're going to cut that short and get him on the road and say, you know what, you're ready by yourself. Go on out and
You're
deliver these 8 pallets or run to Cincinnati and run back over. Should be easy. And I actually know a local guy kind of going through the small trucking company, not going to get into names, we try not to on this show, and they're penning a lawsuit from an accident here in the Midwest that could shut his company down.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
they're
sad.
going through the appeals and everything right now because once it goes through, they won't be insured again. Mm-hmm. And your bigger companies can absorb some of that, but when you're talking $1 billion,
Well, yeah,
the next lawsuit's going to be a minimum of $1 billion.
Right.
You have established
It'll be
that
$2 billion, $3
your
billion.
Roe versus Wade, if it gets approved and it gets paid out, this is our bottom dollar.
yeah. I think because it may not be similar to trucking, but when I owned my own alarm company years ago and sold it, but I had a van and I had
Did
to
the
have
bell go off?
yeah. I had to get $1 million
$1 million
liability insurance.
liability.
Yeah. So that was the cap. So if I were to get sued, that was the max that the insurance company would pay. So imagine truckers, no one's got $1 billion.
Everything's an LLC. Well, you should set up as an LLC.
That's how
right?
mine was, yeah.
Then you shut the company down, and that's all they get is whatever
Right.
assets
Can't get
you
your
got.
home and
Correct.
sue you personally. And
You could bring it into, so most of your freight out there, everyone runs off of, so LTL has a different structure on every class and weight, and everyone has a little
Yeah.
bit different on insurance internally. Your truckloads are typically a standard $100,000 for the freight product on the trailer, right? The question is, what is the driver insured for?
that's a good question.
Right. Yeah,
You know,
great
and then at what point do we really say it's an accident?
Yeah.
And yeah, the person passed away or was killed, and it was ruthless. And then think about jail sentence after that. Was
Right.
it manslaughter because you were dumb enough to reach for your coffee cup, and because of that, you've been
Destroy-
trained
yeah.
not to?
Right.
There's just so much that the insurance takes on that I think puts a lot of extra money taken out of the company's products to move products.
Yeah.
And that is a cost that is already pre-established by the insurance company. And it goes back to your DOT rating and everything else
Yeah.
that goes into it that an insurance company's got to weigh. And I don't know if I want to be in that industry.
I know. It's tough, man, to deal with that.
So when I think about that, when I think about that accident that happened that you're talking about, Timmy D, one of the things that come into my head is why wasn't there further up the road a police officer or somebody with some lights going and this and that? And I'm not putting the blame. I'm not saying that driver wasn't at blame, but what else could have happened to help prevent that young man from losing his life or whatever?
Why did he
It's
get
such
out of
a-
the vehicle?
Completely.
Right, why did he
yes,
get out?
Yes.
Right, there's that
Completely.
argument too. And
Yes.
I like to play devil's
And I'm not
advocate.
trying to be
just,
whatever. Yeah.
But why didn't that driver not stop? And why is
Right.
it now? Why
Right.
is most of that burden on the guy that overturned his semi? He already did his.
Yeah.
It's not his fault that no one behind him stopped.
Right. Or his load was loaded wrong or whatever happened that make his truck.
Regardless of how careless he was, it's the other person's action was careless too.
Right.
Yes. Completely.
And there's no reason that his. Now, did he cause it? Yeah, but he didn't really cause the second one.
Right.
Right.
At the end of the day, if everyone would quit being distracted,
Completely.
get back to driving your vehicle.
When did this
And your
happen?
truck.
When did this
So
happen?
2017 is when the accident happened.
So it's in the courts now.
They just settled.
They just settled it,
a couple
right.
days ago. So today's the 11th, so the 7th. So 4 days ago for $1 billion. Only took 4 hours to deliberate.
I read the same article Timmy D's talking about, and yeah, I was.
Well, I wonder if that
I was
driver-
going to make it my topic.
You were?
I was.
Well, I wonder if that driver's been able to work since then. I mean,
No, he's
Probably
fired. So you've got union companies out there, you got independent guys, and you've got independent or non-union companies. And typically, if you're not in a union, you're fired.
You're more safe in the union, yeah.
Oh, if you get in an accident, if you're done. You're absolutely done.
So does this help put the screw-ins to the owner operator then?
It does because we talked about it earlier in the year. They raised the rates on the insurance rates for the owner operator. Yeah.
not just all of the
Made it
owner
unaffordable.
operators. Yes,
Yeah.
completely. This
And
just
do
helps
the
put
owner operators
fucking-
get together and start an LLC just to get insurance for all their owner operators?
Yeah.
Good point. Yep.
No.
Because you can't do without those owner operators.
No,
Oh,
I
they
mean,
make up what?
cannot do.
40,
was
50%?
it? Yeah, it was a big part.
It was a
Yeah.
big
It was
part. We talked about that
huge.
before.
Yeah, I remember it being plus 30% or something of
Yeah.
what they filled the void and have to have them.
Completely.
But you can't if you're going to sue their ass for $1 billion.
Each time.
billion.
Because the billion now, it's going to go for higher.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the baseline now.
Right.
The other
Right.
one they said was 101.
crazy.
So it was 400 million that got denied, and the 101 got overturned. The 1 billion is there. Obviously, the legal process has just begun.
Yeah, that'd be the one to follow up on.
This will go, if need be, it will go to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, hope so. You don't want to see something like that because it drives up the cost for everybody, right? So,
Right.
Yeah, but someone lost their life too.
Yeah,
did,
that's
which
true.
is
And not to take anything
very
away from that. I mean, that's highly, I mean, I don't know, life to me is worth more than that. So,
And I'd be remiss. I know we're kind of on life or whatever. I do want to say, being September 11th, shout out.
yeah.
Remembers of September 11th. Don't want to. Ship's going to happen. Thanks about everybody.
Yep.
Every year, a lot of good specials out today. Some last night. So this whole weekend, I think. That
was my
20-year
random-
anniversary.
That was
And
my random thoughts. But
okay, well, we'll get to it. I just
That's
want to,
all
while
good.
we're talking
Yep.
about life that's been
Yep.
sacrificed,
Yep.
today being September 11th,
Yeah, good point.
means a lot to a lot of us that were around.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys in Cabal weren't even born.
Yeah, right.
That just lost their life when this went down and why they're fighting. So that's it in the topic there.
Okay.
Just insurance is, man, if this sticks, man, insurance is going to go unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you,
It costs
Timmy.
due
And,
bad.
and then your rates too are gonna.
Yeah, the rate, because that's how they're going to have to pay for it, right? So
Somebody.
we'll get into number 3 here, Driver Safe Act.
Let's get it.
That was included in the infrastructure bill. Let's get into it.
Yeah, there it is.
All right. So Kevin Bessler, the Center Square, through the Washington Examiner, kind of did a follow-up on this. And it says the trucking shortage worsens. Groups are trying to get together and figure out a way to bring more drivers on board that Timmy D's brought up, David B's brought up, I've brought up before. We've done several topics on it. And it looks like there's some good things going on. The Illinois Trucking Association is allowing 18-year-olds to drive within the state. So they're allowing that. And we mentioned the fact that they're was it New Mexico that did the
Yes.
that did the driver training? So there's schools coming out, like we talked about shop and workshops that we had when we were kids. They're coming out with more and more things to get the younger people involved. So the Drive Safe Act, which is in the infrastructure bill, was passed by the Senate. So it focuses on the obstacles to bring younger drivers to the industry. The requirement that they are at least 21 years old to drive interstate commerce. What was unique is the food industry is really the one that they're targeting in this to get the 18-year-old drivers in there, because that's the least thing we could ever have a shortage in, right, is the food. So,
I'd be so hungry.
oh my God, could you imagine that?
Tony didn't cook us breakfast this morning.
Oh, I missed out on it. I'm sorry, fellas. So what they're going to do is once the driver qualifies for a commercial license, they will get a 2-step training program with at least 400 hours on duty time and 240 hours of driving time with experienced truck drivers. After they go through that, they're going to let them go over to the interstate. So that is in motion right now. And again, it's critical for the food industry due to the, we can't go hungry. So as of right now, they say there's 60,000 drivers short, and they think that will help fill the void in the pay. They brought up quite a bit. So an estimated 15,000 driver positions are now available in the food service industry for driving. So that's a lot.
That's hard work too, though, right?
Yeah.
If you're in the food industry, those are the guys you see. Well, let's just name a big company. U.S. Foods is a pretty big one. But these guys are going on overnight routes and delivering to 2 today and 2 tomorrow. They've got to lug it off the truck, put it into where it's going.
Yeah, it's a
tight
different deal, yeah.
quarters. It's just not driving a truck.
Right.
It's
So there's a little bit more
hands-on.
labor, which, hey, your 18-year-old can handle that.
That's
Your
right.
65-year-old. I mean, I wish I was in that shape. But one thing I did see, to point out to what you're saying, is the average wage is $67,000 for those guys,
Right.
and the average high school graduate only makes 38 G's.
Right.
And so starting out, the college graduate only makes 51,
Isn't that amazing?
and then you lose your college loan debt of an average of 33,000.
Right.
There we go.
So it's instant cash.
Instant.
Yep.
Instant cash, instant economy builder. You're gonna have an 18-year-old that don't give two craps out there spending the money when he's off or she's off, hopefully. And it is hard labor though. That's what you got to sell.
Building wealth, building a work ethic. There's nothing wrong with that.
And feeding
that's
America.
a path. Again, that's a good path.
Feeding America.
You're starting them in the vocational program in high school. It should succeed well. I mean, it should do well.
So a Chicago-based company named Market Express recently raised their driver wages from $27 to $30 an hour, which and they're hiring the 18-year-olds and getting them in the cab and doing that. So yeah, I mean, like you said to me, you go to college, some of these universities, you're walking out $100,000 in debt with a $38,000 to $50,000 job that just is not going to pay it.
And you still don't know what the fuck you're going to do.
Right? Yeah, you may not have got the degree in what you wanted it in.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well, they say 70%. I think it's 70%, 75% of people don't use their degree once they graduate college.
Why are you? I'm not working in the field I went to college for.
College?
What?
Huh?
You had to go to college?
I had to
this?
go to college to be on the Ship's Gonna Happen podcast show.
I did some college. I got college underneath my belt. No, this industry. No, it was money that drove me to this industry.
Me too.
Yeah, at 18, I'm not. I don't have any college, so no, I learned it the hard way.
think my
hard
$8
work
an
ethic
hour.
and whatever got me where I'm at. So.
But I mean, like $100,000 in debt.
I never thought I'd be in trucking.
I didn't either.
Never.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah.
No.
I would never second guess what I did or made the choice
it's
to
been
do what
good.
I did.
August 15th, 1988, I started at 18 years old at General Foam Plastics in Lebanon, Indiana. And I said, when I started, I'm not staying at this dump very long. 26 years to the day, almost to the day is when I left.
Okay. Man, it's a long time at one
still
place.
working. Yeah.
And he's been working for another 42 years at another place.
You learn your trade, you cut your teeth, you keep your mouth shut, and work hard.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
right
That's good
there.
advice.
It's
David.
put your family through, and it's done well. It is not an easy living though. If you're on the trucking
gotta work,
side,
man.
not the logistics
Yeah.
side. Even the logistics side is tough, but if you're on the dock or what, you got to work some crappy hours,
Yeah.
and even you work crappy hours
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, and I'm on the dock every single day.
Because
every day I'm on the dock.
The real trucking, as in real logistics, real freight, it moves at night.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing moves
Yeah.
during the 8 to 5 job. It all moves at night. If you really want to see some action, jump up into any trucking company, everything they're moving is overnight.
Yep.
They're moving it overnight. So it gets produced typically early in the morning by a supplier like David B's team, and it's shipped out the afternoon, and it's moved overnight to be delivered the following day or 3 days or wherever it's going, however long it takes. But a lot of your work, I would say probably 70% of the work gets done at night.
I would agree.
And I would say 6
Yep.
p.m. to 6 a.m.
I was going to
is what I'm
say
talking
that.
about.
Yep. That my first shift at Roadway was 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and it was and it got real busy about midnight.
Yep.
That's when it started flying, and you had 50 dudes and girls combined on a tow motors running around, inbound, outbound. Right. I mean, relays humming at that time. Get me the load. Get me the load. We got to get it out. We got to get it out. So yeah, you're right. And it's a lot of cold nights in card hearts, right? On the dock. If you're doing your job, you're out on the dock, right?
Correct. Not like today where I need my heating and air.
Where's the bubble? I need my little bubble.
Yeah, exactly. I went in this morning at like 1. It had
Was it 58?
Yeah, but to me, it's nice. So I have all the vents open. I have a couple dock doors open.
Yeah.
When the pussies at 4 a.m. come in, they're like, "Close, it's too
It's
cold."
cold in here.
And my response is always like, "Work harder, motherfuckers. Work harder.
Work
It's
harder.
not cold. Work harder."
David B going into
Yeah.
the cursing jar. He's going to owe our
Sorry.
cursing jar
Yeah,
around here on the
yeah.
Ship's Going to Happen
I think
show.
I owe it more than anybody.
And since we're on
so.
YouTube now, we're going to watch him donate to the jar that we're going to donate
we'll,
to charity.
we'll have a jar in front here for him.
Right. What?
It's going to Piper's Treats.
Yeah. But that's all I had, fellas. You want to get into some random thoughts? David B kicking us off.
So I got 2 today. We're gonna start off a little bit on the first one. Timmy D kind of touched on the second one earlier, so we'll start with the first one, just kind of randomly or whatever. So everybody likes pizza. So what about you guys? You guys with your toppings and pizza. What's your go-to favorite pizza place and toppings? Timmy D, can you start us off?
You
with
want
that?
me to kick it off?
Yep. Since you're absenteeism,
So here-
it's been a while since we've
Here
heard from
locally,
you,
we've
so.
got a little joint. It's a nasty place. Don't walk in there. It's disgusting. Little hole in the wall. They sponsor a little league team. It's got the cardboard crust. You guys know what cardboard crust is? It's the frozen already there, but they're pizza sauce hand little slices of mozzarella put on there. Pepperoni sausage does me just fine. I don't mind. I like a good Hawaiian pizza.
No, you're the one.
Yeah.
There's really no pizza I don't like. I'm not an olives guy. I'm not an anchovies guy. I'm not a mushrooms guy. From there, I can do pretty much anything. I like a good deep dish from time to time. But there's not a pizza I haven't met I don't like.
No, that's good.
In case you can't tell.
Right, there we go.
As my shirt says.
So Tim,
I'm into fitness deer in my freezer. And I'm just putting it out there.
So you are one of the only people that I know that says they've ever liked a Hawaiian pizza. What is it about the whole? Is it the sweet and salty?
It's the sweet, salty. So I like a good barbecue pizza or chicken, onion, bacon pizza. I like that with pizza sauce or barbecue sauce. I like a Hawaiian pizza. My Hawaiian pizza, I prefer to be thin crust. It's got to be a thin crust. So like I do like a Hawaiian from like Pizza Hut or Papa John's. So Papa John's actually has thin crust. And I thought putting fruit on a pizza was the dumbest thing ever. Finally had it, I don't know, drunk one night, I think in college. And I don't know, it's one of those I ordered. It's something different, right? You got a meats pizza. You do a meats pizza. You do a deep dish. I'm not like a DiGiorno. I'm not a big fan of DiGiorno. It's too much crust and not enough sauce for me. It's all about the sauce. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of Olive Garden. Their red sauce absolutely sucks. It's to the point I have threatened to bring in my own Prego jar to fix their spaghetti, lasagna, whatever, because it's just bland.
There we go.
I'm all about pizza sauce.
Maybe we'll get a sponsorship out of Prego.
We should. Yes, Tony B.
I'm a Chicago guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
I like
Right, I didn't even
Uno's
think
and
about
Lou
that.
Malnati's. I like
Uno's is
that.
good,
Yeah,
So
I
you're
love
more
that.
of a deep dish
I
guy.
gotta have it deep.
Giordano's?
Yeah, Giordano's. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
All
got
that.
the cheese on the bottom, and then the
Yeah, I like
toppings,
it like that.
and then the sauce on the top.
Yeah.
You like the
nothing
sauce
wrong
on the
with that.
top?
Yeah.
You like the sauce and then everything. So you like sauce on top?
I just like that style. It doesn't really, because if I have Pizza Hut or something that you mentioned in town here, which I've had, I like it. But if I had to go to, I'm going to Lou Malnati's.
There we go. Isn't there two of those?
I think NDA has one now. Yeah.
I
Lou
think they have
Malnati,
two.
well,
Lou Malnati's.
I
Yeah.
think
can't
they
even
have
say it,
two.
folks.
Lou Malnati's.
Lou
yeah.
got pissed off at Gino's East
I like Gino's East.
and
Shout
went and
out.
started Lou Malnati's. So Gino's East is good too.
Isn't there one by? It's
one up north.
Top Golf.
Yeah, that's
think there's-
Portillo's.
Yeah, but
Is there
I
one
think
up there?
there's-
There might be one up there. I'm
think
not.
so.
Yeah, because I know
don't
they were going to build one. And but
Gonna
yeah,
have a dinner date on the Saturday at Louis.
Is it
'cause I can't
Louis?
say it all.
yeah, there we go. Lou Malnati's, right?
Hell
Well, you
yeah.
got homie.
You know what? Listen to I didn't really give it. I normally don't give my random thoughts much thought because it's more about what you guys do or whatever. But listening to Timmy D talk, like if I'm going to do a store bought in my head, there's nothing better than Tostinos. Nothing.
I've not tried
Fucking
that.
cheap 99-cent.
They used to be
the
no, they're like
rectangle.
$2 now.
Raisin
You can
Rings.
buy a box. You can buy a box.
You get the
with 4 in it.
combination, or what do you
Yeah,
get?
Yeah, the combination.
Oh, yeah.
with like 4
Crispy.
in there for like
yeah.
$5 tops or whatever.
That's pretty good,
shit
huh?
is-
I've
man.
never tried
Like
it.
after a long hard day at work, you're just
It's
like
what
quick.
people in high school and college
pound.
eat.
Yeah.
Or
They used
if
to
you're
be,
a-
you used to be able to find them for 75 cents at Kroger
or
in,
if you're
in
a fat
college.
balding old man like this guy right here, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Totino's.
Totino's, yeah.
Totino's.
And locally though, Donato's is the fucking
Oh,
shit.
yeah, I like
Donato's
the-
is the fucking shit.
So I used
I'll
to-
throw my whatever in the cuss jar.
Yeah.
Donato's is the shit.
So Donato's I used to on Sundays, hungover Sundays. I used to order a not Papa's favorite. It's the Founder's favorite.
Mm-hmm.
I get it on the thicker crust, and then I get a large pepperoni, just a regular pepperoni. Hey, that'd be my all day Sunday. Sleep, watch football, wake up, eat some more pizza. It would sit on my coffee table. I'm talking about a bachelor, dude. I'm talking about 27, 28.
Yeah.
When I was working out, I'd sit there and eat this pizza all day long. Me and my German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sit there and he'd lay there. And I'd wake up and this or that and just pound Donato's.
That's hilarious.
Arnie's. We grew up on
Oh,
Arnie's.
yeah, Arnie's
Arnie's.
ain't
When
bad.
growing up, and my dad worked in Lafayette, and we grew up
Yeah.
in little bitty Colfax, Indiana. And my dad it was such a treat when he would bring home Arnie's pizza and salads. And Arnie's pizza is the best, absolute best. And even going back in the day when we were younger, every now and again he would bring home pizzas with anchovies on it. And I bet it's been 40 years tops since I've had a pizza with anchovies on it. Back in the day, I don't remember it being that bad. I think I would give it a shot again.
They made a movie with that, right? The guy wanted
know.
extra anchovies. That was the
yeah.
whole,
Yeah, what was
that?
that?
You wanted sex with the delivery guy if you had
So speaking of delivery, I'm about done. I don't know if I'll order Papa John's ever again, at least locally here. They don't have drivers. They use DoorDash.
Oh, they do.
So I got my pizza probably 2 weeks ago. That sumbitch was ice cold.
Ooh, that sucks.
Ice cold.
So you called and complained, and they said that they use DoorDash?
No, I wanted delivery.
That's a good-
And they said, well, okay, we use DoorDash. And I said, well, the pizza's ice cold. They forgot my sauces. I'm a sauce guy. I already said that.
You got your Prego out.
Yeah. I had to do something for the cheese sticks.
That sucks.
I was so upset. And they said, well, sir, I said, so you can't send a delivery driver back? And they said, nope. And I said, they said, we can give you a credit for your $1.50 for your damn sauce or something. I said, what about my cold ass pizza? And they said, you can call back tomorrow and talk to the manager. Like, I was just, I'm like, man, don't make me call Shaq up. I will call Shaq up. Shaq and Peyton Manning, I will get them on a team. I'll get them on a Teams call. We'll have a discussion.
Shaq O'Neal could get him right now.
Yeah.
Shaq would be highly pissed off at this Papa John's. But you know what they decided is
Give him his pizza.
we don't have enough delivery drivers as it is. So we're just not going to hire them. If you apply, you're going to work in the store to make pizzas and answer the phones, and that's it. We're going to DoorDash it out. So that's why their fee is $4.50 now, because they pay DoorDash the $4
Plus a tip?
But then you're tipping the DoorDash person.
I would work for Shaq O'Neal in a minute.
Yeah, I
Wouldn't
think he's
he
a
be
great
good
guy.
boss?
Yeah.
Just saying. Maybe
He's a
not.
big dude.
But I think you would. Yeah. Yep. All right.
I love me some Shaq.
And then my second topic, is it good or?
Let's do it.
So my second topic, Timmy D kind of touched on this a little bit way back in the day, and unfortunately, or whatever, that we had to go through this 20 years ago, the 9/11 attack.
Yeah, 9/11.
Where were you guys and what were you doing, Timmy D? I'm assuming you were in junior high. Is that about right? Or
Not quite.
Elementary school.
Not quite. I was in a class called APC. It was it's an alternate gym class for all the athletes to work out, and we were doing bench maxes.
For the athletes to work out?
Yeah, for the athletes.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I was in there because I was like Joey Chestnut. I was there for the food competition, so I really had to stretch out my fat.
Right.
And so we were doing a bench competition, and we were just getting ready to walk downstairs and change, and that's when it had come on the radio. And kind of didn't quite catch it all. We're kind of like, what the hell's going on? Time we get transitioned to the next period, which was actually the varsity baseball coach. He had it up on the old school TV that had dialed in. Things had just changed, and we sat there and watched it to the point that every class we changed to had it on. And we just watched it. Well, it was. I had only had a half day because I had left. About 5 of us went back to my parents' house and watched everything from there from noon on.
Dang.
Watched it. I mean, I'm assuming in the same way it would Tony and I, helplessly, like.
Yeah, and then I went and I signed up immediately.
Oh.
So
Thank you for your service to our
thank you.
country.
no, but go ahead. Where were you at?
Well, no, good question. I was in Champaign, Illinois, working for Roadway Express. I had logged on the computer at about 7:38, did some stuff, and then I began to head out the house, running a little late, and then the news showed that plane coming in. I was watching it. Ed
watched it
Perry, who we had on the show, was the terminal manager in Danville, Illinois. And Ed Perry and I had a call at Rantoul with Conair. And so they make dial soap and all this stuff.
Not the movie.
Yeah, not the movie.
Right.
So then I went, man, you know what? Because having firefighting training in the military, I realized, man,
Thank you for your service.
you're welcome, man. I'd do it all over again. I just felt like this building, when hot metal starts on fire, you can't do nothing with it, right? It's
Take the
over.
whole floor out. The whole top's got to come down.
So I thought, man, it's gonna go down. So then on my way to Rantoul, which is about a 25-minute jog from Champaign, to meet Ed, who was coming from the Danville terminal, there was a gentleman who flew in there, the regional manager, to meet with us. Excuse me, and his flight had got canceled. When we showed up, he goes, my flight just can't canceled. Another building went down or got hit. And I was like, what? And then and Conair had a TV, and we went in their lunchroom and started watching it. And then I was like, man, I just can't work the rest of the day. I got to go home.
I was sick.
Yeah. And then Ed's like, me too, man. So then we departed, and I went home and watched the rest of it, and was in horror watching it. Unbelievable.
Horror and most somber time. Yeah. What you got, David B?
So that's
crazy.
Sitting in my desk.
It's crazy. I think we all had the same feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
If
we
you
do.
were
And
around, I think every American had the same freaking feeling.
Yeah. I think we do. I think all three of us have the same feeling today. Sitting at my desk at work at General Foam, and my sister had called me. My sister worked at Walmart forever and a day, and she called and she's like, "Have you heard?" I'm like, "Have I heard what?" And she told me about the plane that hit the World Trade Center or whatever. And so I immediately, and I'm a big NPR AM radio dork, and just turned it on AM radio and listened all day. And the drivers that came in, everybody, to your guys' point, everybody was somber and like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just one of those times in life where you knew where you were and you knew what was going on. And it's a time where you'll never forget where you were and what was going on, and such an attack on America that you thought would never happen or whatever. No. It's just such a...
And think about Pearl Harbor, right? Which I wasn't around for. And this was a little bit... Well, Pearl Harbor started a war. Well, I guess... I don't know how to say it, but our time was...
I know what you mean.
Was the trade centers.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the trade centers were.
Right.
Maybe I'm young, dumb, didn't know. I did not know what the trade centers were. But when the first one had hit, and then I physically watched the second one run into it, and you didn't even know about the third plane. It's very little talked about.
Good point.
Actually, two more planes. One that hit our Pentagon.
Right.
And then the Pennsylvania.
And then Pennsylvania that was going towards...
The crew may have taken it over.
They think it was going to the White House.
White House, yeah.
And so those two planes are often forgot, I feel like, when it comes to talking about everything that went down. And I always... Maybe it's sad on me that whenever I get on a plane... I size the plane up.
I do too.
Every time I've been on a plane since then, I have sized the plane up.
Should that be the norm for everybody? I mean, I agree
think
with
everyone
you.
probably does that was around.
Yeah.
And
I agree with you. I would too.
Yeah.
And
Who do I
think
trust?
Right.
Who can I say let's go or let's roll, the famous words?
Let's roll.
Who can I say let me switch seats with?
Yeah.
What lady am I trying to move up front closer to? I don't know. Yeah, it crossed my mind.
Nod of the head. That nod of the head. That's all you need to do. Let's do whatever.
Yeah, you can't bring weapons on. So when I go on, I always take a number 2 pencil, and I take a hard ink pen that's metal.
Britches?
I put them in my pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my britches if I have to. And I think, you know what? One in each hand. If it goes down, somebody's going to get it. So... But
there's always a toupee on one flight, so you can always use that as a blindfold on them. Okay, right, let's make a little light of the situation, but it's crazy.
It is. Man.
It's when you sit back, it's humbling. It's unbelievable how
it changed life.
I hate to say this. I know, but I don't want to say this the wrong way. So take it lightly. How brilliant of them, though.
It was.
Let's think about this: to have the kahunas to learn to say. Everything is automated now. To know that. This is 2001. This is before a lot of technology.
Exactly.
All you have to do, dumbass, is get into the cockpit. It will fly itself. All you have to do is up and down, left and right. Just let it roll. And for them to know the coordinates and how to get there.
It was, So,
it's brilliant.
So brilliant.
I'm sorry.
It is.
No. To your point, Tim.
It's ridiculous.
You hit the heart of America without a military.
Yes.
To your point, brilliant in my head to catch us with our britches down.
Yeah.
To catch us
or did they?
Gullible. To catch us not ready or not thinking it's going to happen to
us.
It's not going to happen to us.
It's us being complacent.
Yes.
People take life for granted. They think, screw you, dude, on the road. And they just move on in life. Well, that could piss somebody off the wrong way.
Right.
And I've seen it where you don't, I want to be your best friend, but I'm your worst enemy, right? Yep. That used to be our saying was best friend, worst enemy.
Yep.
And I hate to say it that way, but gosh, damn, did they outsmart us? Or were we just complacent?
I think,
and decided that there's no one stupid enough to bring back
do
the
that.
Japanese bombers, the kamikaze bombers. There's no one that ever do that on a commercial flight.
Who's to
Are we
say
dumb enough?
Who's to say that's not going to happen again? Where somebody is not going to catch us with our britches down.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be. And I don't want to get into a necessity battle or whatever.
No.
It doesn't have to be that group. Who's not to say
It could
that
be anybody.
Yes, completely.
It could be someone.
They're not going to expect.
It could be a terrorist here, someone born here.
Yeah,
Right.
the Canadians. I'm not trying to. I'm not. See, I wasn't. I know.
It could be
I'm
a
not trying to
Hoosier.
be.
It could
I'm
be
not
a
trying-
Hoosier.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to.
Well, when you get a bunch of foreigners coming to go to a pilot training program, I think there's an alarm, right? And then one of the training
Nowadays.
programs. Well, one of the
Is
training.
it, or do we give that opportunity to everybody? And we
We-
just say thank you for your money because we love money.
We give
We're a
it-
capitalist society. We say thank
Yeah.
you. You paid your money. We're going to teach you everything you want to know.
Well, yeah.
because that day moving forward, every truck driver that I came across, and still to this day, I don't ever think ill will or bad of that driver. But there's a lot of different ethnicity drivers, and I always just try to treat them like I would treat you, like
Yeah.
I would treat you, like I would treat whoever.
So I just-
like, hey man, how you doing today?
I just put up for a GoFundMe. There's the greatest Marine I ever served with. He got out as I think as a brigadier general somehow.
Wow.
When I knew, so he was enlisted. He was an enlisted,
The hard way up.
enlisted up to sergeant or staff sergeant in the recon, Marine recon. He served in special forces on the Marine recon overseas in Afghanistan for probably a dozen years. Greatest Marine I ever met. He moved into officer because he wanted to make change. He said, I'm going to make change on what we do so that the Marines are structured the right way. That's why he went officer. He served over there completely remote, nothing but Afghan special forces and his interpreter. And so there's some things out. Put a GoFundMe, or someone put a GoFundMe. All of his family trying to get here that they're trying to bring over or already
Do you know
have.
how to get there? Get to
The
that.
nieces
What's that
and
GoFundMe
nephews and
thing
all
called?
that, and trying to raise $100,000 because then they killed his dad recently. His brother made it over. I think they've got everyone but 2 people over here right now. And that guy and his family deserves every bit of the American dream.
Completely.
Yeah.
He served with him for 12 years. He was an American. He deserves everything. And I don't mean to get passionate about it, but
No,
I put, hey, I'll be honest, I put $25.
Yeah.
But if everyone put $25 to help feed this family and clothe them and put them in houses and give them the education, that's what they want. That's all they ask. And Americans take it for granted every freaking day, and it kills me.
Yeah. So Tim, where is he originally from? Where? I'm sorry.
He's Afghanistan.
Yep. So, and that's
So he's actually now a sheriff down in Florida,
okay.
and he's trying to get the rest of his family here.
Yep.
Do you know
As
what
he
to
should.
how to get to the GoFundMe thing?
We can probably, you want to post it on the website?
Yeah, we could do it
Let's
on
do
there.
that.
Yeah. So the GoFundMe, I'm trying to look it up.
I didn't mean to
right
put you
now.
on the spot, but that'd be nice
I know.
to mention that.
It's just one of those. So sheriff's name is Sheriff Kurt Hoffman, is the Marine I know's brother, who's the sheriff, who this guy is now a deputy, and he was number 4 in his class, and he was a Terp for his brother overseas. So I'll get you the GoFundMe. We'll put it up. Again, guys, I'm not onto this media stuff. They know. So he's raised $70,000 of the $100,000
$30 grand more.
So
Or whatever we get.
Sarasota's where it's at. I'll send you this link.
Okay.
So
and we go from there.
so to clarify, Tim, all of our listeners are giving to this so that his family can get brought over here and become citizens and be
Which they should be.
Yes,
I would read you the story, but I'd probably break down, especially
Nope,
being 9/11.
nope.
Yeah.
It's
You're
close
good.
and dear to my heart, folks. And I just that little story, right? That just this guy gave everything for us.
Right.
He didn't need to do that.
Right.
He did that for us to protect us and do everything he can for us.
Right.
To Timmy D's point, not all
We had
Muslim-
Terps, and I just
Yep. To Timmy D's point, not all Muslims and not all Islamics are bad
No,
people.
there-
Just
a lot
like
of good people.
95% are great.
Just like all Caucasian Christians are not racist ass
No,
stupid
95% are
motherfuckers.
great.
Yes,
Right.
Yeah, we're not all. I mean,
Right.
there's dumb in every
Every
way
branch
of
and
life,
group.
in every way
Yeah.
of life.
It
And-
doesn't matter how you slice it up.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Everyone has that's why we're all unique individuals, and I think America gives everyone an opportunity to be the best you can be.
Absolutely.
As far as they possibly can. You want to go somewhere, go on over there and try it out. You ain't gonna be happy,
Right.
And I don't judge anyone. I don't judge a book by its cover. Every person to me, I treat as if I would be treated. And I hope they do the same.
Yep.
And maybe they don't, like you said, maybe we took it for granted on some of these guys. But the thing is, what's that happened? That happened 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, 30 people went stupid on us.
Yep.
We just all got to be more vigilant, and I hope we never lose the focus. Be more vigilant to protect you and your community and everyone around you, and don't think about yourself first. Think about others.
Right.
Yeah. Let's
That's
hope.
all.
Let's
It's a
hope
good
we don't
point,
get,
man.
Yeah. Let's hope we don't get stuck into a
Yeah, because
20-year war again.
I think we because I think we'd all agree if we had 5 friends showing up at going to get air pilot license, that airline company or whatever would say, check me out. You should background check me and figure out what the hell I'm doing and why I want one. Right.
Yeah, but I think everyone should have the opportunity to. If you're in America,
agreed.
I don't care who you are.
Absolutely. My point is everybody should be measured the same.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Right.
Sorry to get off on a tangent there.
No,
I just
it's
9/11
good stuff,
is
man.
close to me this morning. I'm glad I got to spend this morning with you guys.
Yeah.
Kind of take your mind off a little bit and just think about the freedom we've got on a Saturday morning. And thanks to the trucking
Special.
industry too.
Yeah, I got one more just to kind of change the topic or whatever a little bit, if that's okay.
On a positive note.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to do. Is switch it up a little bit.
Hitting
here.
for the wind. You got a button
So
for the
we
wind.
gotta.
Here we go. Let's get into it, David.
Random thought through.
So we'll start with Timmy D again on this one.
Hammer me on my return.
favorite band. So when I ask
Oh,
these
my
questions,
Lord.
everybody watching us on.
Man.
Listening and watching us on YouTube or whatever, however it is you're taking us in. I'm just giving you a chance to know who we all are opposite our normal lives,
Right.
opposite our
Good
business life. Timmy D, what do you got as your favorite band?
Favorite band of all. If you had to strand it on a desert
Outside
island.
of my own band, inside of my shower.
Artist, yes,
This is gonna be a tough
Who is
one.
probably the best singer ever inside the shower?
Yeah.
What do you got as far as? Do you have a favorite band?
I echo well.
Or an
so I grew
individual
up- no,
like
so-
Barry
so
Manilow? Is that where is he in that?
Nelly was my go-to growing up. Nelly. So I'm a country rap guy. That's what I like.
Okay.
So Nelly and believe it or not, Joe Diffie was a CD I listened to. growing up.
Diffie, yeah.
Roll my truck down a hill.
Yeah.
And then pop me up next to a jukebox. I know you're not
Wow.
a country buff.
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
Joe
Nelly,
Diffie. I can tell you what, Chris Jansen's one of my favorites. That's out. See, you can't hate on Sonny Cleveland. Just put him
Sonny
out there.
Cleveland, yeah.
I know he's
Well,
new to
that's
the
a good
plate, but no, Nelly was definitely my go-to. Nelly was big, and then I would say Joe Diffie, and then Chris Jansen's kind of new. I like that new Applebee's song that's out.
I haven't heard that.
Date night at Applebee's, a commercial.
I haven't heard it.
What?
No.
Fancy like?
We'll have to pull it up.
Oh, fancy like?
I have not heard
What do
it.
you got, Tony?
Oh, man.
By the way, I'm not a big music buff. I just don't have the memory.
I tell you what, there's a couple, but if let's see. I grew up listening to a lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Okay.
I grew up listening. I mean, sometimes I like Bob Seger. I like the Eagles.
You're
I
on
like,
you're on a drive though, going to see customers. What are you listening to? Is there music you're taking in, or
His
what
boss
is it?
telling him to get it together.
That's right.
You usually don't listen to
Shit
motivational
together.
videos.
Customers
Tony
bitching.
B.
You can never get
Why
enough.
is this customer in Lebanon like bitching all the time?
Always running his
Go
mouth.
to the one I'd want to hear. Man, there's so many of them. Wow. Probably. Man, I'm a Zeppelin fan too.
Did you guys entertain going to Guns N' Roses that was in town earlier this week?
Jacob, my boy, went to it.
Did he?
Yeah, he said it was incredible.
Did he
Yeah,
really?
he's got videos and everything.
How does that make you feel
It
when
does.
Jacob goes to the Guns N' Roses concert and you went
Yeah.
to a Guns N' Roses
Yes.
concert when you were younger?
Yeah.
You know, and now
49
he's
years ago.
I'll tell you.
how does that make you feel?
Well, here's the thing. Ann went to see him in '92 here. That was the last time they were here. It was the last time they were here. And then Jake went to see
That
him.
is literally 29 years ago.
Yeah, and then Jacob went to see him for their first time back in Indy, and so they were really
Did you
excited
tell him that's
about
the
it.
night he was conceived?
Guns N' Roses, Paradise City.
Dad, stop. No, I don't want
Yeah.
to hear that.
Actually, he's not even that old.
So-
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But so I like, man, I guess I would, man, whatever popped up out of those three that I picked, I like, man, I like a lot of music though.
Yeah.
But I guess one of
you
those
do
would be
good.
go-to.
You do good on nailing music when it's played on the
Oh, I
jukebox.
do horrible.
So Timmy D, just to let you know,
What you got?
I got stumped.
Tony and
Yeah.
I were out a couple weeks ago sitting at the Great Divide, and I started plugging like the simplest shit into the jukebox, and Tony's like,
Who's
I
that?
don't know who these
Tony,
guys
you're not the only one.
is."
Yeah, Daryl Hall and John Oates. I mean, like before they were popular. I'm like, who the hell's that?
And I just gave up. I'm like, nope, I'm just going to stop.
It was too
and then
easy.
Tony to kind of help himself out here. It's like, and I used to be a DJ, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh man.
Used to be a DJ, should know most of those.
So anyway, it wasn't Matty Ice, but we had fun.
That
we still
was
had a
fun.
good time.
Oh,
we
yeah.
still had a really
Great
good time.
time.
I tell you what, who's really good at that, and we need to get on the show is my buddy Brian that does the dock at one of the warehouses here in town. He is surprisingly good at that.
Knows
And
them
just
all.
like, holy shit, he's better than I thought he would be.
Banana
not
Rama you
Matty
pulled out on me.
Not Matty Ice good, but good.
Where are you at? Who you got?
Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
All time favorite.
That's
Beastie
a good
Boys
one.
followed by a distant Smashing Pumpkins. At
Oh,
number 2.
yeah, I grew up with them.
That's about.
They're the reason I started smashing pumpkins. By the way.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm serious.
I was smashing
No.
the pumpkins before the Smashing
Hey,
Yeah.
let's
Pumpkins.
bring
Yeah.
up Nirvana. What's the
Yeah,
deal
Nirvana.
with this dude suing about the Dagon record after he took
Unbelievable.
freaking
Thank you.
pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$1 billion sounds good to the insurance again. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been
Somebody-
silent about it.
Yeah, now all of a sudden you have to say something. It's been however many years.
Man,
And first off, how is it that Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, or whatever is now all on the classic rock station? Bullshit. That's not classic rock. I just started hearing
It
that
is.
stuff.
Classic rock is now 20 years later, by the way, because it's still classic.
But my point being, it's like in your head, you're like, it hasn't been
That's
that long.
90s, right? Late 80s,
It
early
hasn't
90s.
been that long. But
No,
it has been that
91.
long.
Being sued. Yeah. Wow.
You haven't heard about that lawsuit?
Yeah, but I just hadn't heard a follow up on it. Like they've all,
don't
like
think there
the
has.
remaining band members have been kind of silent about it.
They're
And,
going to the lawsuit.
If I was-
He'll
Yeah.
get paid something
If
and
I
he'll just
was-
walk away.
if I
He just
was-
needs money.
yeah.
If I was Dave Grohl,
bull crap.
If I was Dave Grohl, just to fucking shut him up, here's $1 million. Shut up,
Yeah.
go away.
No, but they should win
I
this.
know.
That's
Yeah.
the problem. We
Yeah,
give them
yeah,
the
yeah, that's-
lawsuit. It sets a precedent
his,
for everybody
his
else's
parents signed a
lawsuits.
consent, is what my understanding is,
No, they
right?
didn't sign nothing. They got $200. They admitted to getting $200. Said, yeah, not a problem. They didn't care. They
Okay.
do whatever you want. They've admitted to all this.
Yeah.
He's taking pictures for them. He's out of money. He wants free money to do nothing
Right.
with his life.
Right.
We say
Jeez.
yes to the lawsuit. We give you this to shut you up, and then that sets a precedent for the rest of these lawsuits.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
So
Sorry
every
to go on a
album,
rampage. I know it's just
every
pissing
album
me
cover,
off.
there'll be every album cover
Hot
scrutinized.
coffee. Now every cup has to have hot coffee. Costs McDonald's 2 more cents every time I print it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry.
No,
no,
no big deal.
No, don't be sorry.
No.
For those of you watching us on camera this week, hey everybody.
Hello, hello,
The
YouTube.
camera adds too many pounds.
Yeah.
for
Have
those
you
of
seen that
just-
calf though? Look at that calf roll.
We're all smaller. Yeah. Boom.
In our own minds, we're all smaller. So, but yeah,
I'm
those
healthy.
are my
Send
random
sushi.
those are my random thoughts this week. I did tell Timmy D earlier that he missed us torching him last week.
Yeah, we
on the
scorched him a
show
little
or
bit.
whatever. And Matty Ice,
Always
Matty
kick a
Ice
man
took
when you're
some
down.
good dig. Matty Ice was a great fill-in and took some good digs at him.
The love story.
Yes, Matty Ice and the love story. So
Man.
anyway,
Called in the love story.
Man, some good stuff. I like it.
good
It was
show.
good stuff.
This
So,
was. Or,
Hey, happy Saturday, 9/11.
Yep.
Seriously, drink one for the boys that can't and the women that can't. And
Yep.
everyone that did what they did on that day and the days after.
enjoy your freedom.
Hey, by the way,
thanks for listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen.
one
show.
more again. So I guess we're on this thing called YouTube, Rumble, iTunes, Twitter.
Yep.
We got all kind. We got our own webpage too. It's called shipsgonnahappen.com. It is back up and rolling. We got some shirts. If you're interested, holler at us. Maybe just send you one for free if
Yeah.
you want it. We started on SoundCloud. So if you got any interest in that, hey, Tell you what, first 10 people, hit me up. I'll send them to you for free. I'll
There
pay
we go.
for it.
I'll do, first 10 people hit
First
me
10
up
people,
also.
let's go. Send us an email.
As long as your size is medium, I'll hit you up.
That's
Just-
right.
Size is medium.
Or we can have the big ones. I think we got some big sizes.
We got some
in there.
big ones.
Yeah,
we got some big ones and little ones.
We got a little bit of everything in there. So hit us up, but good for the boys to get us on all those platforms. So check us out, whatever's convenient and easy for you. Please remember, do not be distracted when you're driving. It makes insurance goes up.
Yep.
And then, and then next thing you know, you got 19-year-olds, and according to Tony's topic, that just get you in trouble anyway. So
There you go.
that's all I got.
Thanks for listening to the Ship's Gonna Happen
Yep.
show. Share us if you're listening to us on YouTube or Rumble or Twitter or wherever. Share the show for us if you would. It helps us get us out there, and we're going to continue to go strong. I appreciate you guys listening to us, and thanks for being here.
Yep. Thank you very much. And all you drivers out there, be safe. This is the Ship's Gonna Happen show. We are out.
Gotta go.